everybody, I'm Joanne Miller from Fort Myers, Florida. I'm with a new Facebook page. The subtitle is Dead Men Tell No Tales, So We Do. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Flint family from Buckingham. This is one of my favorite pioneer stories. They endured so much getting here. But in 1805, Mahalia Flint was born. She's the mother of all the Flints, the great-great-grandmother today, maybe great-great-great to some. But she was born, and she had, I believe, 13 children. At the time of her death in 1900, only 2 survived. Well, one of the sons was William Riley Flint. He's the one that homesteaded in Buckingham. He was in the Civil War. He was born in 1847 along with his father. They were both in the Civil War. I don't know the death of the father, but anyway, at some point, the mother and William Riley was heading down to Florida. The men went out hunting. She was left alone, taking care of the camp. The Indians scalped her. Yeah, that happened. And she lived. She was a survivor. I mean, she survived that. For years, she always wore a scarf around her head, they said. Maybe nobody really knew. I don't know. It was so long ago. She died in 1900. But she survived. So they made their way down to as far as Fish Eating Creek. And William, now, he was wounded in the war. So he had a limp. Well, he met a woman by the name of Sarah. They had several children. The last pregnancy, she was pregnant with twins. She dies, and so does one of the twins. He named the son, and they continued on. They came down to Fort Myers. He meets another woman, and they get married. She was married to a carter at some point, so she could have been a widow, I believe. Anyway, so he marries her, and they homestead in Buckingham. So later that property became Jody and Lloyd Henry's property, if you know the Buckingham area. That's where the Flints lived. And I do believe they still own some of that property today, a small portion. But anyway, so they moved down here. William, he did odd jobs, Grove, and all this and that. He becomes sick. He dies in the house. So Carl Roberts, the undertaker, got in the wagon. I don't know, they must have had telegraphs or something. And he gets in the wagon. He travels hours out to Buckingham. And he picks up the body and the family, and he takes them over to Fort Myers, to the Fort Myers Cemetery where he's buried. Anyway, when the family got back, and this was in 1909, so when the family got back to Buckingham after spending all day in the wagon, having the ceremony, getting back in the wagon, and they're devastated over the loss, they get back to Buckingham, the house burnt down. Something happened. Nobody knows it burnt down. There was the widow with her children. I can't even imagine. But the neighbors came through. They helped her rebuild, and life went on. And today there's more Flints than anything in Lee County. So that was the beginning of the Flints, and I love that story. Thank you. Bye-bye.